let's say you're never going to get to know applied neurology. You're never going to do vision drills. You're never going to do inner ear drills. You're never going to activate your cerebellum on purpose, just habitually. You're never going to explore your 12 cranial nerves. You don't explore your receptors on purpose. Let's just say applied neurology is not going to be a part of your life. How can you still improve your brain? Because we know what's happening now is different with dementia, Alzheimer's, mental health stuff. Like, we've been neglecting the neck up for a long time, and it's starting to catch up with us. Psychology is not going to be able to handle it all by itself. Therapy is not going to handle it all by itself. School therapists aren't going to be able to handle this. Drugs are not a good long-term fix. If you need them short-term to figure your stuff out, to get off of them and move on, could be helpful, but a lot of people go, I'm on this medication for good now. So what can you do? I'll use the tale of two different clients today. I'm curious what they're up to. They're all kids, and I want to know what kids do today. The first one, I went, what other sports do you play? And it was basketball, swimming, sometimes it's volleyball with friends, soccer. Awesome. What do you do outside of sports? And she's 12, I think, 13 maybe, 12, 13. What do you do outside of sports? She's like, and I went, do you play any instruments? She goes, piano, but I don't like it. Probably not going to do it again after this year. Okay. Any other instruments that you're interested in? No. Okay. What about art? You like art? Do you draw? I'm terrible at drawing. I don't like drawing. What about like sculpture? Do you ever play with clay and stuff like that? No. Paint? No. Music? Do you like listening to music? Sometimes. So what are you into? Hang out with friends. Cool. What do you do with your friends? Soccer. Hang out. Watch TV. I think those were the big rocks. Okay, I went, okay. Do you read? Nope, don't like to read. Okay. What else are you into? And that's kind of it. I went, okay. So, like, brother watches TV all the time. She watches whatever he watches. Sometimes there's video games involved. And often it's just her hanging out with friends and kind of like sometimes kicking a ball around in the backyard, sometimes watching TV together, sometimes watching YouTube together, stuff like that. I went, okay, interesting. Other one, what do you do in your free time? Well, or no, it had a cut. And I went, how'd you get that? He goes, woodwork. I went, tell me more. He goes, you didn't know I do that? I went, no, I failed. I don't know you that well, I guess. I haven't asked those questions. So tell me, woodwork, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I got a website and everything. And I make like coffee tables and cutting boards and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, it's freaking awesome. Like, when'd you start doing that? He's like, yeah, 13, 14. He's a college guy now. I went, that's so cool. What else do you do? He goes, I'm going to see this guy in concert. And I went, cool. So you're going to some live music? It's like, why do you like that guy? He goes, he's really good at guitar, and I learned everything he played. I went, hold on. Went to Spotify, found this guy, phenomenal guitarist, and I went, you learned how to play his songs? He goes, yeah. I went, how? He goes, figured it out and used some tab. I went, dude, that is freaking awesome. And it was like, just those two things, like I was immediately absorbed. And sure, 12 years old versus a college age athlete, gonna have different interests. But the first story I heard, you're gonna get stuck in the American mindset, which is work hard, play hard, deteriorate, lean on the medical system to keep you alive, versus a creative, artistic, really interested in that part or in that lifestyle. So it's like, so What can you do for your brain? New things. Plain and simple. Novelty is our brain's best friend. So do stuff that's new and play with a lot of it. So if you've thought about an instrument and you don't play it, play it. Figure out the behavior side of things, because that's what fails. Everyone has the idea and go, I'm going to do it. And then the next day happens and I didn't. And the next day happens and I didn't. And I'll do it tomorrow. And then that day is gone. That got in the way. I have an excuse every time. Plan. Hey, if it's important, spend 5 minutes going, where is it going to live tomorrow? How am I going to remember to do it tomorrow? For me, I learned that lesson very early. Got fish as the first pet. They died because I forgot to feed them. Fish round 2, really wanted fish. I can do this. Gotta feed them. Can't let them die. Made fish reminders in my room. Huge help from Mom. That was not my idea. And it was her just saying, hey, let's put reminders so that before you go downstairs, you go, oh yeah, that's right, feed the fish. And you go feed the fish. And that worked. And so putting sticky notes, drawing things, making cards, being creative with it, and cell phone reminders, calendar reminders if you're a cyborg and you need your cell phone. But just those little tricks into changing your behavior are very important. Planning is the key. So playing an instrument, amazing for brains. Amazing. We've been doing it forever. And if it's new to you, man, you're going to get increases in auditory input. That's cranial nerve 8. That's also your balance nerve. So you can improve your balance by improving your ability to play an instrument and listen to that sound. You're also getting temporal lobe stimulation because that's where sound is processed. That's where also balance is processed. There's also spatial things in that. So you can just improve yourself as a person just by playing an instrument, just by getting involved with music. Art. Crazy. Like, let's just take a simple idea of drawing what you see. You're increasing all of the visual requirements that we need to get through the world in a conscious way. If you've ever looked at a plant, you can go, yeah, it's a plant. And I was the best at this. I didn't process anything in real time. It was like this stored, yeah, I know what that's like. But not in the moment, looking at it, smelling it, tasting it, something of the sort. It was just like, yeah, there's a plant, move on. There's a tree, move on. I remember the day that trees became three-dimensional for me again. Yeah, I'll say that again. I didn't know that there was depth, or I lacked the visual of depth until I did a vision drill. It's called the Padula Square. It's got a little Snellen chart in the middle, and then it's two boxes that you can alternate, red, green, whichever one's in front, because it's a 3D object, and it's a perception exercise and a peripheral awareness exercise. I did that. All of the first time I learned that was in Z-Health speed course. Here's a chart. I'm looking at the letter, and the whole chart goes black, and then some of the lines disappeared. And I tanked. We're about to start the class, and I just went, ooh, here's a chart we don't know about. And I went, uh-oh, I'm struggling to think. I'm feeling a little wound up, feeling a little irritated. I'm about to have to listen to neurology and how things work. And I just fried myself with this drill. And then we learned about it, peripheral awareness versus foveal vision. And I went, man, another thing to add to my list of damage. So I started playing with the Padula Square, literally just looking at it, red, green, alternating them. And then I went outside and went for a walk, and I looked at a tree and I went, that's crazy. Like, I didn't know I wasn't seeing the depth of things. Go figure. Nightmare driving. The worst I'd ever been in my career, at the end of my career, and wondering what's happening. I can't see the ball that well anymore. And here was like whoa, there's depth. That's crazy to me. You can do that with anything. Look at a plant that you've looked at all the time and actually pick out leaves. See if there's a pattern to things. That's what drawing does. If you're sketching something that you're looking at, it will provide you a different level of detail. And if you have never looked off in the distance at like mountains for a period of time, you notice things. One of my favorite views in Portland is in Southeast, next to Selwood Park. There's just a bend in the road, and you just got the entire view of the river going into downtown right there with the west slope on. It's beautiful. And if you just sit there and look at it, you didn't notice that road tucked into the trees. Didn't notice those angles on the bridge. Didn't realize this contrast between these buildings. Like, things start to pop out. But if you think about it, vision is about 70% of our like brain activation. So that's a lot of calories. So if you don't need to look, your brain will go, plant, move on. Uses, like, again, we're built to survive, not appreciate nature. So it is literally a not tiger, not killing bird, not snake, not this, not it. Really only cares about making sure that something's not dangerous. Like, our subconscious walks through every moment of every day going, is it safe? 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 Our conscious brain, our second brain goes, shut up. Yes, it is. Shut up. Yes, it is. Shut up. That's a stick. Shut up. That's a leaf. Shut up. That's something rustling that's not dangerous. That's a homeless person. Whatever it might be. So this is an ongoing thing. And again, it creates habitual living. It creates a habitual lifestyle. And again, if you're not thinking vision, if you're never going to do something with your inner ear, you're never going to find this training, picking up things like that drive change in your brain. Now I'm going to sketch. What am I going to sketch? I'm going to sketch what I see. I'm going to spend 20 minutes doing it. I didn't realize that part. Let me add it to the sketch. Then there's that contrast of, hey, I'm seeing it. It's in my head. How do I get it out of this pencil? That is a big time brain process that if you don't draw, it's a great way to increase activation in your brain. And safe to say that the more you do this, the more you're staving off the Alzheimer's, the dementia, we're a use it or lose it system in a really, really crummy world. We don't have to do anything anymore. You don't have to draw. You don't need art. We cut it out anyway. It's pointless. Save money in schools. Idiots. We are so dumb when it comes to making sure that we take care of our brains. We're not thinking about it at all. So we cut music, we cut arts, we cut PE, physical exercise, we cut recess times. It's like, this is going to have a major negative impact. Major. But we don't think about long-term health in our country. We think about what makes me feel best right now. Give me the dopamine hit right now. I'll deal with the problems later. So instead of sitting for 5 minutes in silence, closing your eyes, not listening to anything, just being with yourself. No, I'll pick up my phone. I'll find the news source for the 14th time today, or I'll hit another 3 minutes and doom scroll through how many TikTok videos. We're at a crisis. And I think that we're starting to maybe realize that because we're stripping everything to just say regurgitate information, sit down and shut up and learn, and get a job that supports the society and just deteriorate with the rest of us. Like, if you look at the average, 60 to 95-year-old male, not doing well. Not doing well at all, especially compared to their female counterparts. And a big part of that is shut up, get to work, suppress your feelings. There's no reason to talk about them. And don't change. Go to that job the same way every day, 40 years. We now know that is not a good way to stay healthy. You deal with problems if that's the way that you ended up having to go, and that was that generation. It was a get-to-work generation. We are fresh off of world wars in comparison to where we are today, and we need to make sure our population is ready for the next one. If you didn't know, that's a lot of how our country goes about things. It's kind of crummy. It's a, how do we make sure we get the citizen that will protect and be a good citizen and make money and spend money and kind of wait for that retirement, ride off into the sunset. Unfortunately, it never got easier. So, novelty. There's your takeaway for today. It's going to be short and simple. I kind of went off on a tangent there, but create novel experiences for your brain. Have you been to the zoo recently? Go to the zoo. Have you been to a garden, a public garden, a Japanese garden, a whatever garden? Go. Is there a state park in your area? You should hit it. Is there a right turn on a service trail that you could take just to see what's out there? Novelty. Play music. Listen to music. Get into the arts. Write things. It doesn't matter if you're good. That's not the point. The point is challenging your brain, not to be great and be the next Rembrandt. It's just, even just the littlest sketch. It looks like a 3-year-old could draw that. Cool. Who cares? You don't have to go and try and sell it, but it's the act. Stop looking at it from a result. Oh, I'm not good at it, or oh, it sounds bad, or whatever. If you have even an inkling of a curiosity of it, do it. Don't have the time. You do have the time. You're just wasting it away watching TV, being on screens. You do have time. It's just a really hard concept in today's world where we are set up for illness, mental problems, dementia, Alzheimer's. Like, we are set up for that based on how our culture has kind of evolved here. We lean way more on technology. We look at schools. We've cut so much. Shop, home ec. Like, these things were brain stimulators. They are a part of us being healthy individuals. Cook. If you haven't cooked a meal in a while, what a great idea. Think about all the things that have to happen for you to cook a meal. You've got to use your eyes different. You need to have timing of different ingredients. You might need to chop stuff and use your hands in a way that isn't this or this. Like, it would be very helpful. So, if you never run into applied neurology and you never run into training your brain deliberately, get into new environments, get into new experiences, get back into the arts, play some music, learn an instrument, learn a language. Phenomenal for brain health. But you're getting the idea. Stop doing what you always do. Wake up, don't remember, go to work, don't remember, get home, eat, watch TV, rinse and repeat. Stop doing that. It is killing us. Get into something else that is not a TV, that is not a cell phone, that is not... Yeah, if we took those two things away from you, you're probably going to figure something else out. So take those things away from yourself for a day and see how you do. You might find something that actually enriches you and gives you something positive for your long-term health. So maybe you remember a name in 85. That would be, I want to do that. I don't want to forget everything. I don't want to get to this point where I'm so slow at processing that I can't drive, that I can't walk, that I need a completely even surface that is completely predictable because I'm terrified of falling. That's where we're headed, and it's not a good place. So again, there's the positive of it. We have so many things available to us to help ourselves. You can use your phone to learn how to play music. You can use your phone to learn about art and how to create things. Like, it's a powerful tool. But we just live in this world that is this hyperactive. I'm reading a book and it put it great. It was restless exhaustion. We are restlessly exhausted. So meaning I'm staying busy. I got to do things. I'm restless, but man, I am exhausted because of it. That's not a fun balance. So I think this is a way to help ourselves. But man, it's going to take a lot because our whole culture, our whole society is against us when it comes to our health. As long as we're paying, as long as someone's making some money. So if that's going to change, It's got to start with us, the individuals, going, I'm not okay with that anymore. I'm not going to be on my phone 2, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I'm not going to watch TV like the average Americans at 6 hours a day. I think that's the foundation of this conversation. Stop being the average American. It is the fastest way to be unhealthy, overweight, dealing with problems, and then eventually losing your mind. Let's create a new American that is a creative, critical thinking, thoughtful, excited, energetic, rested type of person. I think we'd all have a lot more fun with that.